Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're diving into the psychology behind those dreaded words, I need space. Look, if you have ever been on the receiving end of that phrase, you know exactly what I'm talking about, that immediate sinking knot in your stomach. But today, we're going to break down exactly why giving her absolutely all the space she asks for isn't just the right move. It's actually the strongest, most mature thing you can do for both of you. Right off the bat, I want you to ask yourself a tough question. If she asked for space today, right now, could you honestly give it? I mean, could you truly step back completely? Or would you instantly start looking for little reasons to stay connected? Be honest with yourself here, because your gut reaction to this question reveals a whole lot about how you process fear and control in your relationships. When a woman asks for space, the absolute biggest mistake guys make is letting their imagination and their fear completely take the wheel. On the surface, they agree to step back, sure, but underneath, it's pure panic. They convince themselves they're being patient and supportive, but the reality is they're just terrified of what those words might actually mean, and they're frantically scrambling to keep a foot in the door. It's panic, thinly disguised as patience. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The panic of space. 2. The trap of half space. 3. Respect versus manipulation. 4. Returning to your life. And 5. Detaching from the outcome. Let's get right into it. Section 1, the panic of space, and exactly why hearing I need space triggers so much fear. You see, those words can mean so many different things. She might genuinely just be emotionally overwhelmed. Or maybe she's dealing with personal stress that has absolutely nothing to do with you. She could be confused about her own feelings. And yes, she might even be quietly reconsidering the relationship. But here is the critical takeaway. You don't know which one it is. Trying to decode her silence is an exhausting, impossible battle you are never going to win. If you try to overanalyze every single possibility, your emotions will just end up hijacking your behavior. Which brings us to Section 2, the trap of half space and why hovering is most definitely not giving space. You know, you might think you're giving space just because you stopped calling every single day. But if you're sending that casual text just to check in, or you're reacting to her social media posts, replying to her stories, or constantly asking mutual friends about her, well, you're just finding excuses to stay close. You're creating an environment where she feels watched and emotionally followed wherever she goes. And let me tell you, that isn't space. That is hovering. There's a massive disconnect happening here. In your mind, you think you're broadcasting love and commitment, proving that you're a rock and you're there for her. But what you're actually showing? Anxiety, a really fractured sense of insecurity. It basically tells her that your emotional stability depends entirely on maintaining some form of connection, no matter how small. True confidence is consistent. It doesn't make promises of space that your fear immediately turns around and breaks. Okay, Section 3, respect versus manipulation, and the true intent behind your silence. We really need to redefine the idea of disappearing. A lot of guys get this entirely wrong. It's not about vanishing into thin air just to play games or make her panic or force her to miss you. True disappearing means genuinely stepping back so you stop trying to inject yourself into her daily awareness. It means choosing respect over fear. You're accepting a boundary without arguing, without negotiating, and honestly, that is a massive sign of emotional maturity. Giving space as a tactical strategy to make her come back is pure manipulation. It's an illusion of space, totally rooted in fear. Sure, you might be acting silent, but your entire world still revolves around whether or not she's noticing your absence. True patience, on the other hand, sounds like this. I respect your decision, and I'm going to go focus on my own life. The motivation behind these two behaviors couldn't be more different, and trust me on this, people can almost always sense that difference. Moving into Section 4, returning to your life and shifting that focus right back to you. I want you to think about where your emotional energy was going before she asked for space. Seriously, visualize it. For a lot of guys, a massive 90% of it was likely dedicated solely to the relationship. You might have had these tiny 5% slivers of energy left for your career and your health. Your whole world revolved around one person, which means your routine, your happiness, and your peace of mind all depended on her being available. And ma'am, that is an exhausting way to live. So your goal right now is to redistribute that energy. You use this time apart to rebuild the areas of your life that quietly drifted away. You pour that energy back into your health, your career, your hobbies, your friends, and your own personal growth. Aim for a healthy balance across the board. By doing this, your confidence slowly stops depending solely on whether her name pops up on your phone. You become fully present in your own life again, regardless of how the relationship ultimately unfolds. The beautiful thing is, stepping back actually clears away the fog. Constant contact can easily hide the truth, confusing mere familiarity with actual love. But with distance, you're going to uncover one of two truths. Either it's genuine love, meaning you truly miss her because the relationship brought real peace and trust into your life, or it's just routine, meaning you just miss the comfort of having anyone there. Space forces that honesty right to the surface, for both of you. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5. Detaching from the outcome and finding peace in uncertainty. It is incredibly easy to just stop pressing send on text messages. But even if your body stepped back, did your mind actually leave the relationship? If you're sitting there counting the days on the calendar, checking your phone every 5 minutes, and obsessing over imaginary conversations in the shower, your mind is still completely attached to the outcome. You haven't found freedom at all. You're literally just waiting in a different form. There's a great saying: real peace begins the moment you stop attaching your happiness to one specific outcome. Emotional strength means knowing, deep down in your bones, that you will be okay and that you'll move forward with dignity, whether she returns or not. When you finally release that desperate attachment, you stop measuring your self-worth by whether or not she chooses you. You start making decisions from a place of solid self-respect, rather than a paralyzing fear of loss. I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. Are you building a life that makes you proud, regardless of who stays or leaves? I challenge you to stop chasing certainty from another person and start creating a resilient, meaningful life that doesn't depend on it. Because ultimately, healthy relationships are never built on fear or pressure. They're built when two emotionally secure people freely choose each other. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I genuinely hope this perspective helps you handle the unknown with absolute confidence.